Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming. Sorry. I'm streaming some 2D4X. It sounds a little strange in my ears, and I was like, oh shit, I updated a bunch of shit before I started streaming, and I was wondering if sometimes, you gotta change your headset, but man, my headset sounds so different right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. But that's not your problem. That's my problem. Because it looks like it is going out there. 2D4X is a 2D4X video game I'm making, and this is it right here. It's open source, made with Godot .Net, which is the C# version of Godot. And it's a post-apocalyptic game, takes place in North America. And that's all we need to know right now, I think. So last time man, this sounds so crazy. I wonder what changed. It's like there's a tiny delay on my voice or something. I updated NVIDIA. Just do this right in the middle of this thing. Microphone, noise removal, echo. That's normal. I don't know if this is off. This is on. Right. That's weird. Well, I guess I'll just have to deal with it. It's weird that there's me doing me. It's weird when you're like something changes on your voice, like if you do a lot of Zoom meetings or Teams meetings, like for work or whatever, and you have a slight echo, your brain just can't handle shit like that. And that's what I'm hearing. It's not an echo. I just sound way different than normal. But whatever. I guess it's fine. I guess I'll check one more thing here. My input device is not that, but it's still picking me up. I wonder if my input device is fucked up over here. Let's see. No? Huh. All right. Well, I think I usually keep this on this for work. I don't know, though. It says that there's sound coming out or going to you guys. So that is, I guess, something is working. We'll just hope, right? Everything else seems normal. I didn't even click this thing. I normally click these things so I can see chat from both YouTube and Twitch. This is an exciting start for this stream with all these, weirdnesses, but everything, I guess, it just sounds, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my ears are different. Anyways, so last time we finished, I say we because chat helps me a lot. We finished like the research and stuff that we were working on, a ton, like months and months of population AI, so that your population does stuff. We have each county has a population, and now they do stuff. They think for themselves, kind of. It's still work in progress, but like these people are all scavenging. We have county improvements that you can build, and you can build multiple of the same one, which is something that didn't work. We have heroes moving around and all sorts of stuff. And I pushed that code to main, and I made like a test executable. It's not like a game, but you can download it and look at it. It's still not at the stages of being a game. But the next thing we need to go to, so I rearranged this at the end. You know what it is? I know what the problem is. This is going to fuck everything up. I'm going to unplug my headset and then plug change some stuff. 1 second here. Okay, it may have. No, it sounds the same way. I don't know. All right. Well, whatever. Sometimes my headset gets a thing where I have to unplug it and plug it back in. It's really bizarre that this is bothering me so much. Let's make sure that this is. Yep. All right. Whatever. What the fuck was I talking about? I know, it's Labor Day weekend. I almost didn't stream today because I just wanted to lay around. It's a big thing I like to do, is just lay around. Oh yeah, so the next thing that we're doing here is, so we did a bunch of shit, and we're basically, each step of research that we do, Each new thing that we add to research adds a bunch of new features. I'm going to call them features. They're basic stuff to the game. And I don't know why this thing keeps jumping down to here too today. Let's click on here and maybe that will stop it. I don't remember what this is. So we're gonna do research next, and this research is gonna cause a bunch of shit to happen. So basically, we're gonna set up a new building called primitive, like some sort of manufacturing called primitive scouting equipment. And that's gonna be like binoculars and maps and stuff. But it's gonna be all in one set area. Meaning like you're gonna have a set of primitive scouting equipment, not individual binoculars and boots and things and maps. I'm kind of doing the equipment kind of like Hearts of Iron, where you upgrade, you get these like sets of things. So in Hearts of Iron you have like combat equipment. This is the same. This is scouting equipment, and So when we create this as scouting equipment, we're gonna have to change some of our resources because it's a resource. We're gonna have to change some of our resources. We're gonna have to make it so that heroes are like your leaders in this game, kind of like CK3 or 2, or probably 1. I don't think I ever played 1. So your heroes will have to be able to equip that equipment, and then also I want to add that your heroes can have people with them. And so this is going to change a lot of stuff, because currently your heroes cannot have any people with them. But what we want to have is your heroes be able to recruit like a group of people to move around with them. And that group of people could be an army. Like they could be diplomats or an army. So, or just advisors to help them scout. So and then we're going to also need to add in the ability for the heroes to scout. So this one thing is going to just cause like tons and tons of changes. And so what we need to do is start like kind of preparing for that, add new UI elements and shit like that. So that is what we are doing today. It just dawned on me, I think I want this hero should be over here above population. And do I have exploration? We need to change this because I've changed my mind about this. Currently, if you click on here, it has the hero, this is your hero, listed in this population number, and it gets weird later where it's like, you're kind of like, why is that guy in there? So I think I'm going to change that. We do want our hero to be able to work with population, but I think right now they don't, and I think we do, but I keep flip-flopping on that. When a hero is in transit, they shouldn't be shown. Well, that's something we can check on. But what I need to look for here is, I want to put in, wow, there's a lot of stuff on here. We're going to have to go through. Yeah, this we want. I think I put this in last time. There's probably a date on here. Maybe not. Seems strange if there would be no date. Is there really no date on these? What? Last week. Yeah, there we go. I guess it's not a date. It just says last week. I probably could have hovered and got a tooltip for what that was. But yeah, so we're going to need henchman, inventory. What else? There was something else I was thinking. Heroes inventory is going to be a couple of different things. We're going to need like, let's edit this and add in what we need. So we need scouting. We need armor. We need weapon. And for now, I think that's it. These are the 3 different slots that the hero will have. I'm sure I'll think of something else. So we'll have that there. And then let's go back to our research thing here. And we're going to go through these and see what we need to do, and we're going to finish this all the way up to where it says next round. That's the plan, at least. Not today, but just in general. We can move this over to here, because this is actually what we're working on, is this research thing. Add next research item, because there could be a next different research item. I don't know what this is, and I even put a note in here, so I'm just going to delete the issue. instead of completing it. I'm just going to delete it. Some county improvements need to generate. We already did this. Oh, actually, we didn't do this. Oh my God, I'm listening to, you guys can't hear it. Pink Floyd The Wall, and whatever copy of this, it's fucking awful. It keeps cutting in and out. I'm going to try the next song and hope it's not as shitty. I'm going to click these buttons again. These things do have like a stop. There's a major upgrade for my chat thing too. This isn't because we need another county improvement that generates faction resources, some sort of government building or something. I'm going to reopen this because I actually think... Come back over here. Oh my God, is it not going to do it? Let's see. It's going to be very difficult to find. Oh, okay. That's not true. Hey, and it's actually letting me scroll. Sometimes it doesn't let me do this. This is the projects in GitHub, and sometimes it's just not very good. So let's put this, we're like 3/4 of the way there. Everybody I know is camping this weekend. All right, so what this is, some county improvements need to generate faction level resources. So I dumped this in here, but what we could do, so these are like ideas for different research items. So we're gonna have like a massive research tree. That's my goal. We currently only have these 3 items, and we're gonna add a second tier, hopefully today. Man, now my lights are flickering. What the fuck? Well, if my power goes out, then I guess that's the end of the stream. I don't know what's going on today. Centralized authority. So we need a faction level resources. So I don't need to really put this here, except that I think what we should do, there's an example in here. So we need, this is research because we need a county improvement that generates some sort of building, generates influence. So we can just do like capital building, and then I'll put a note in here. These are all drafts because they're going to change. They're just ideas currently. A building to generate influence. What do they call the things in some sort of bureaucracy thing? Currently, how the economy works in this is you just have influence. We're going to have different economies later, but right now we're starting with the simplest one, which is kind of like you and a group of survivors have bureaucracy, and we'll figure it out. What the fuck is the name of these buildings? I'm just curious. Oh, administration buildings. Administrative centers. I think I'm spelling capital wrong. Yeah, I always think it's the O one. Capital cities. I guess I was right. Administrative centers. Generate influence. Generate influence. I think I'm spelling influence wrong, and I am. It's an E. It's an E. All right. So we have a couple of those. I guess I can I convert this? Let's see. I'm always trying to stop asking questions that I don't want the answers to, because then people answer the questions and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't care. I don't want to know that. the rhetorical questions when I like play video games and just work at my house because I work from home. I just ask myself all sorts of questions. I don't know what, like out loud, I do it. It's strange, I feel like. Um, let's see here. Can I unconvert you? Transfer issue, lock conversation, pin issue, unsubscribe. I guess we'll just stick it over here. But it's not really, I mean, it's more of an idea. We'll just put it like over here. I don't really want it to be, come on, man. Nothing is working, including myself, is working correctly today. You know what I'll do? I kind of want this to be here, though. I can't believe you can't issue stuff. And I think I remember doing this, thinking the same thing before. You can't like change from an issue. Yeah, there's nothing there. I'll just not worry about it. I'm trying to not have, so for a while I was making everything an issue, and the problem is it makes it, you know, like it looks like there's a bazillion issues when there isn't. So and let's see if this thing's still true. So this should have, man, this thing was working so, where the fuck did it go? This thing was working so well a minute ago. Like the blue line now is very touchy. There we go. All right. So let's see if this does this. So it should happen. It no longer happens. Research checkbox toggle. True. The fuck is that? Let's look up what that is. I haven't even opened up Visual Studio today. See, I got all sorts of problems. That's probably under research control or something. Research checkbox is true. It's talking about that, actually. It's not going to be under that. It's going to be under probably this thing and this thing. Yeah, after I pushed to main last time, these two little things said they were changed, and I didn't change them, so it was strange to me. So we just have some spawn hero checkbox. Here is the thing that's causing that, but I don't think. So this should happen every time. So every time you click on a county, it regenerates these lists over here, and that's what it's doing. Kind of interesting that it does it on. Oh, you know what it's doing it on whenever there's a. Yeah, wherever there's one of these already. So that's fine. We don't need to see that anymore. It's not really a problem. Spawn hero checkbox. I don't think this is doing this. Name research is null, whatever that was. It's not doing it anymore. I might have just commented it out at some point. Population research should be what job they're doing or what interest they have. We already did this. That means we need to add an interest to the county population. We already have done that. Get out of here. Go away. Come on. There we go. Maybe make it so you can click on the research button on the top bar and it would close the research panel. So what this is talking about is if you click on here and then you try to click on this, this is actually covered up. So there's a twofold problem here. So as I've been, not playing the game but developing, I keep going to this to try to close this research panel instead of this button down here. And it doesn't work because we have a panel that blocks this stuff. And we could just make this bigger and cover up the whole thing. But the problem is you want to be able to see how many resources you have up here. So that's, you can't see this. If we cover this up, you can't see it, but then this button doesn't work. So we could have, well, and we also don't want the speed buttons to work. So maybe we should just not have that button work. I have a feeling people are going to click that, though, to have this go away. Let's not worry about it for right now. I'm going to put a note in here and say, making, oh my God, why is this typing so slow now, too? Making this possible. Like, what the fuck is going on? I should have never updated all this stuff I updated. I just want to see if there's something weird. OBS is using 15%. That makes sense. Yeah, whoever recorded this version of Pink Floyd The Wall is fucking trash. Let's go. Maybe it's my headset, though, that's acting insane. It just keeps cutting out, like, for part of the... Sometimes you can, like, find... We'll listen to this other thing. I know you guys can't hear it. Let's see. Test it with a different album. Making this possible would be a huge pain in the ass. Let's wait for the next time we... Wow. Let's wait for the beautification. Let's wait for beautification. So we're going to be doing something called beautification here, which will beautify now I kind of smell burning computer. I played a little bit of CK3 before I started, and CK3 is now makes my computer, I don't know what changed, but makes it just go, its fucking fans go completely insane. Like it runs as loud as I've ever heard it run in my life. I should not play CK3 on this. I should go to my good computer. This is my mediocre computer. So with this, we'll just stick this on the next round. So then we need to break the research list into tiers. So what that means is we currently have, and I have a thing in here. So we have different research item data is what they're called. And they are right here. So what we have is we have tiers that we can have them in. They're currently 1. I don't think I made one for made tier 2 do anything. So what we'll do is we'll set that up right now. So the first thing we need to do is make a new resource that is a tier 2 resource. And this is going to be primitive scouting equipment. All right. And this is gonna, we have these different things. This probably be engineering, I think. Oh, wait, engineering's a different thing. So this should probably, this is the skill. It's not gonna be construction. We might need to add in a new skill too. This is so your population gets a skill check. Yeah, I don't think it's any of those. This is gonna be tier 2. We're gonna leave it for that though. The interest is what I was thinking. We gotta drag it over here. All right. We might want to change that into enum. We'll leave this off for now. The research name, which is weird that it's way down here, but it's going to be called primitive scouting. Now I'm spelling. I shouldn't have streamed today. That's what I'm. That's what I'm learning here. We need a texture in here too. So we're going to need, this is the brief description. Oh shit. Did I do? I didn't. Well, I did it on here. All right, so we got to do some other things. Speaking of translating, I'm going to try to force myself to translate it all to get the translations going at all times. So let's write this real quick, though. This is going to be uh, a or this is equipment such as maps, binoculars, and what else would you do for scouting? So scouting is going to be used also for combat, but right now we're just using it for when you explore an area. And other equipment. This doesn't have to be a real thing just yet. We'll probably want a period at the end. And then we need a texture. So I use this site called Icon something or other. I highly recommend it. It's just free icons, open source, copyright free. Right there. It's a telescope. What about if we put it in scout? Scout ship. A walking scout. All right, that's not gonna. What about binoculars? Let's download the SVG. Is that what I've been using with these things? Or SVGs? Those are PNGs. They are SVGs. So let's copy this into here. What did I call these other things? All right, so we're gonna call this primitive scouting. And then we're gonna move this into here. For some reason in Godot, you have to select the folder that you want it to go into, or it doesn't, it just puts it some strange spot. All right. Then go back to our new thing. And 0 cost of research, we'll say 50. And then we need a county improvement data. It's kind of interesting we have Israel. Oh no, I remember why we're doing this. So county improvement data means what county improvement gets made when this research is done. And it doesn't necessarily have to have anything, but it does, this time it does need to have. So county improvement, like once you've researched this, you can start building this equipment. And so we are going to need to go to our county improvements here. And we need to create a new county, oh, we're in graphics. I mean, we're going to need a county improvement graphic as well. So let's go back to our thing. And I want them to be different. Like this is great for the, I guess we could use the same one. This one, I mean, we could put a telescope. What happens if we search for binocs? VR headset? No. I'm just looking. I've used this one so many times. Recent icons. The Fool. We could use that. Looks like a hobo, though. I didn't think they actually added new icons to this, but I guess they do. Oh, you know what? I'm guessing this is the year they were added. It doesn't have to be that great. I want it different for when we do make we hire someone to do graphics. These are just placeholder graphics. I like the mole person. I guess it just says it's a mole, but I always think it's like a mole person. Let's see. I think I'm overthinking this. What about like walk? We could put the fool in there just for fun. Except that's not, it's so, we need some sort of like production. Beats, milk carton, a whistle, alarm clock, 103 wooden tree. I don't know, factory arm. See, the thing, if we use that, we're gonna not have it available for when we really need that. Maybe I'll just use this one. That's not gonna really make sense, but we're gonna use it anyways. Like I said, it's temporary. This is going to be scouting equipment factory. Factory. I guess it's a factory. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT a question here. I use ChatGPT pretty regularly for minor shit. Let's see what we got though. What is another word for factory but more primitive? God damn it, I can't type today. I can't spell. I always can't spell, but workshop, smithy. I think workshop's better. It's a workshop. Where the fuck am I doing this? I was doing it over here in my downloads. Workshop is definitely better. Because it's more of a workshop anyways. And then we need to go back to my graphics, and we need to go to county improvements, and we need to copy this thing over here. Oh, except I didn't select it. And then we're gonna go over to here. I leave like the actual file name over here just in case I need it for some reason. I don't think it looks like I didn't follow that rule though very well. I did it sometimes. So we need a new county improvement now that we have a thing going there. We're going to go back to our resources here. We're going to go to county improvements. We're going to add a new resource called county improvement data, and we're going to call scouting equipment workshop. Oh, I didn't put spaces in these other ones. Scouting equipment workshop. And these are all probably going to change in the future. It's weird that I didn't do spaces in these, but I did spaces in other shit. But we need a texture, which is what we just made, or downloaded. We didn't make it. And we're going to put this over here. We're going to put this up here. And we're going to call this scouting equipment workshop. A workshop dedicated to the creation of, let's call it a primitive workshop dedicated to the creation of scouting equipment. And what we could do is have different like you can do improvements to this, and you could, like if you have this built, you could have different types, better equipment that you could create on it. Once again, we don't really have a skill for this. Labor is supposed to be like physical labor, because there is a skill to digging ditches and stuff. Like if you just throw a shovel at someone and say dig a ditch, they're not going to be as good as someone who's dug a bunch of ditches before. So if we're probably gonna have, so let's do this too, since we're doing so many changes. So for this, we're just gonna be adding like a bunch of stuff to this. So we need to add a new skill. New skill for production of goods. So I think that's gonna be its own skill. We're probably gonna have, like, you know what I mean? Like there's people who work in a factory and get good at what they do. So we're gonna have this, and then we're gonna have a new one again. This probably is going to be an interest. Let's look at our other interests here. I think engineering probably would work for this, actually. Yeah, engineering. So we don't need a interest for that. The other thing we're going to need to do, so we could actually put this here. Yeah, I think this interest shouldn't be dragged and dropped in there. I mean, it works for now, but so we're going to need to add in this skill. We're going to need to add in, that's it for now. Current amount of construction, max amount of construction is going to be, let's say 100 of this as well. It's kind of a lot for our test systems. Max builders, we'll put 5. Max workers, we'll put 5. County import resource type. So then we're going to need county resource, scouting, Jesus Christ, equipment. Man, I feel like I should just like go smoke and stop the stream and start over again with my, maybe it is just my ears that sound different to me. It's my ears don't sound different, obviously. My ears take in, what is this thing? Okay, and then these are our bonuses. We'll say daily generation is going to be 1 and then 1. And so you produce these very slowly, and the status is going to be none. We put in that we need a new skill. We put in that we need a new whatever. County resource type. Okay, so that's even another thing we need to add in. So let's do the skill first, I think. That's another resource. Man, I have a lot of resources. I mean, I know that I have a lot of resources, but it seems like there's a lot of resources. So resources is the thing that there's resources in my game, and then Godot has a thing called a resource, which is like a data container, I guess is what they call it. There's also something else we need to put on here. So underneath, we also need to add in our resource data, we need failure rate. So certain items that you've constructed, such as guns and things like that, are going to fail, have a chance to fail. So it's kind of like durability, but I don't want to keep track of durability, I decided. So basically, when you equip your hero with a scouting equipment, let's say, there'll be a percentage chance of that breaking. And then once it breaks, he's got to use a new one. And so one of the things, so think of more of weapons, let's say. If you make a shitty gun, like a zip gun, you know, and then they're using that on the front line of combat, because remember, this is post-apocalyptic, those things are going to be failing all the time, and you're going to have to get new ones. So you're going to have a steady supply of guns going to the front line. We're also going to need to add ammo at some point, but we're not to that yet. Scouting equipment doesn't. That will soon. When I say soon, it's going to be 6 months from now. Our war currently doesn't really. It's barely war, and we're going to go back and rewrite the whole war thing, and I think it will be actually okay. It will be okay about. So we need failure rate. So the shittier you produce these weapons, like, or whatever, scouting equipment, any type of equipment that's used up, you're gonna have a failure rate, and it will be like 5% or something. And every day it will roll that failure rate. And then if that fails, it will destroy it, and you'll need to get a new one. And so part of the reason why we need this to happen is because we need you to be able to produce. We need something that you when you're producing finished products like this, they need to be destroyed. Otherwise, you would just build a bunch and you would never have anything. And I think, like, it's kind of, this is like more of an Hearts of Iron way of doing, though. Victoria 3 does do. I've never played any of the Victoria games except for Victoria 3. Victoria 3. So I'm getting all these ideas from a lot of my ideas from a bunch of different games. I'm inspired by a bunch of different games. Victoria 3 does have a similar thing. In fact, it even does it with navies. Like, your ships get like used up. Shamanth, how's it going? I guess that my YouTube chat is working. I was worried it wasn't working earlier because of the new updates, my 1,000 updates I've done that I did today. So I think, so that's where we're at. Let's start. Let's put this in. Actually, let's leave it in that order. We're gonna put this down here. Whoops. And so let's do our new county resource. And the new, actually, let's do this skill first after all. Yeah, we'll do a new skill first. It will be called skill data, and it will be called something. Production. What do you call the activity when someone is working in a factory? What do you call the activity when someone is working in a workshop? Craftsmanship? Crafting? Oh, we could say crafting. I don't want people to think that it's crafting, like crafting. What about in a factory? Manufacturing, production is what I was thinking. It just sounds kind of dumb. I guess we'll use production. Production will be the new skill. I also need to open up. We need to start working on the translation text too here. So we also need to add every step throws in like 12 different things that I have to update, and hopefully we can fix that at some point. Oh, this doesn't have my shit saved like it usually does. All sorts of weird things are going on today. So we need to open up another script here. It is going to be under here. It's going to be under here. This one here. I usually have this pinned over here, but I don't know what happened. We have an update on this thing too. I don't know if I want that to happen, but so we need to add in a new skill here, and the skill is going to be production. It's alphabetical, which means production, no S on the end there. So now that I added that, it's going to break everything else that I have in here. We need to build this because otherwise it's not going to know. Don't worry about that. That's just a bug, a Godot issue. So what we need to do is go back to these. This one should be okay. Let's fire up this Excel thing too for our translations, because we need to do this. If I keep putting it off, so I put it off for like a year, and if I keep doing it, we're never going to have this translated. Currently, I just have English and Spanish, and I'm using the Spanish one I'm using, you know, like Excel Translate to translate this. I actually got a YouTube comment that was in Spanish, and when I translated it, it made no sense with Google Translate. And it dawned on me how, I mean, not dawned on me, it reinforced how shitty Google Translate is. Uh, so let's see, back to this. So what I'm doing is I'm going to keep an eye up here. I don't have a description written on any of these, which is kind of strange. I guess I just didn't want to do it, but I'm going to make sure these all have a thing. And we're going to have a new one of these. So this should be skill underscore production. And we're going to say production. And then we're going to translate this thing. And you know, if I do this now, then I don't have to, I can have this file set up, and so we can translate the game into other languages much easier than waiting for later. Even though, like I said, this Spanish probably is not very good. I'll need an actual Spanish speaker to go through and fix this all up. But not right now, because right now it's the game's not ready for that at all. So back to this, then we can go skill, production. For some reason that looked weird. Research. All right, let's see how these are all off by one now. Since once you get to production, it's because when I added that in there, it throws everything off. So you got to make sure everything's up to date here. What are we on? Rifle. Okay, so these should be okay. I'm tempted. You know what? Let's just do it. What we'll do, let's just add this in here. And we'll say, we'll call these all skill, description, construction. Make sure I don't have anything else going. Construction. And then we'll just leave a bunch of this shit blank. I'm going to move this to my other monitor because we're going to go down this list here. And I'm going to copy some of this. You guys can't see this, but we need one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, huh? We're on 10. I got 5 over here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Up. And then, man, I don't use Excel that much, but when I do, I sure wish you didn't have to use the mouse with it so much. Like, you can't tab through and select in. Maybe you can, and I just don't know how to do it. Labor. Lumber. Jackage. Production. Research. Rifle. And scavenge. And what we'll do, so I could write the description right now, but I don't think I'm going to. The problem with me not doing it now is that means I'm just putting it off for later, you know what I mean? Like, which is a bummer. Let's do this. Let's put in not, I'm not going to write it for right now, but we'll put in not written so that something comes up, and we'll translate this though. We'll put this here. No, we want to get rid of this. And then we can just copy this. And I think you actually can just go like this. All right. So now then we need to put these descriptions in here, and I do need to write these at some point, but like I said, these could all, well, I guess I didn't say this, but these could all change at some point, and we're just like, this is half this shit's placeholder. Hopefully it won't change. We shouldn't. It should just be getting constantly added to, not changed, but just in case, you know, I don't want to put a bunch of work into something that's not going to pay off later. So we can figure out this, and then I can sit down one day, probably not while I'm streaming, maybe while I'm streaming, maybe chat will be helpful. But I do want to keep on top of this translation thing, because like I said, if I don't do it, maybe I didn't say this either, but it would be a disaster, not a disaster, it'd just be a ton of work to try to go back. And I've actually, you know, I stream on my other channel a bunch of indie games, and that's like a common thing I see in their discords, the indie game discords, is they're trying to add localization to their game, and it's just a nightmare. So if we preemptively do this, it'll be less painful. All right, so we did that. Yeah, so like this research needs to be done. Yeah, I mean, we should just fuck it. Let's do it right now. So we need to add in, I suppose I can just put this right here. Research, except we want to spell it right. Basic. Production. And then research. Basic researching. I'm laughing because there's so many things that are like researching, and research, and then research, basic storage, and research, primitive scouting. Primitive scouting equipment. It does. I was thinking primitive scouting could be good enough, but it actually, now that I think about it, you already know how to scout. You just don't have the equipment for it. Then we'll just do like basic production. Oh my God. I shouldn't have streamed today. My brain is just, it doesn't feel like it isn't working, but it obviously isn't. Oh my God. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And then we're gonna translate this. It's already doing it over here. And we'll put this over here. And whoops. Accept suggestions. There we go. And then we're back over to here. Looks like I put in descriptions over here. This is going to really slow down my coding, but you know, my coding, it's got to be done. And when we see this in the future, it will be a reminder that this shit has to be done. I should probably offline one day just write those descriptions too. I know I already said that as well, but and then we needed the next thing, which is this research description. I'm wondering if I should just be like, instead of having this description word there, because it's making these things really long. Wonder if we should do it a different way. Just do like research, descript, descript. I mean, we're only cutting off a few letters there. Basic, production, research, descript, basic, researching, research, descript, basic, storage, research, descript, primitive, scouting, equipment, mint. Man, that's gonna get long. And then if we're gonna do that, we should make every descript. Let's do a find replace actually. And this is gonna bust all of our shit though. Do I want to go through and fix all this stuff? We'll just say description. We'll find replace this. This is probably tiny over there. Oh. Huh. Descript. Replace with description. Oh no. See what it did there. Replace. Replace. There we go. We didn't want to replace all of them. Okay, so then I already have these descriptions written. What is this? This isn't a... This isn't translated. Okay. Equipment, de exploration. Okay, and then for these descriptions, we need to copy these over. Since I did write these. And how research works in this game, since it's post-apocalyptic, is that you're not researching stuff from scratch. You're researching it from, you know, like people saying, like, wouldn't it probably be a good idea to have binoculars if you're scouting? And then, you know, they get binoculars. So it's regular. It should be like pretty quick at the beginning and slowly get more difficult. This didn't click over. It's another pet peeve I have of Godot is that you gotta like very forcefully double click this shit. All right, so we have this, and we're gonna, I guess I didn't need to make that big. We're gonna go to this, and actually we can just do this. Oh wait, I have this in here twice. Production, yeah, I didn't forcefully enough double click that. It's very touchy. Okay, so it's actually translated it for us here. And next thing, isn't it time for discovering things? This seems like it's copied that, but it did not. Oh, right. It didn't have the question marks in there, so it's obviously not right. And then this one. I wonder where it's pulling this from, because I did find another site when I was doing that translation that I was talking about earlier that did a correct translation. It wasn't. It was called like GL Translate or something. All right. So now we have all this stuff. We can now go back to here. Copy over this description. Make sure that we're in the right spot. Double click that. Make sure we're in the right spot. We're gonna have to test this, but I believe I have made a bunch of changes, so the game is not going to run until we finish adding in this new stuff, because it's required. It needs stuff to run here. All right. Then I've saved our translation. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna take a break in a second here. A much needed break with this crazy weird start. Maybe it's just my ears. I did clean my ears yesterday, but I clean my ears all the time. I feel like I have this like. Okay, so this is not working. Generally, I think what we gotta do is close this, and it kind of like needs to re-slurp it up. I might have to run this thing. I can't remember. There's like a translation thing. Research basic production. Our new research didn't appear. Oh, look at this thing is actually off a little bit because this is so long. Oh, same with that. Interesting. I might have to restart Godot to pull this stuff in. It was weird that it said that this was new over here after I did the thing. Let's restart Godot and see. Godot's easy to restart. It's not like Unity or something where when you restart it, that takes fucking 20 minutes. I can't even remember the troubleshooting steps for when this happens. It runs a server. Yeah, there we go. It just needed to restart there. It runs a little like, it calls it a server. I don't think it's actually a server, but it's called like the translation server or something. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, go have a smoke, and hope that when I come back, I have better streaming, better, better luck with everything I'm doing. Let me put up my break timer, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see here. Need to turn off my break timer, which has been done, and turn my music on that you guys cannot hear. I do need to get some copyright-free music. What else did we change? Well, I'm sure we'll see it if there's... There, we did change this. I think... Actually, I'm not sure. Researcher's office? It may have already been done. Let's look at this. This is going to get long. Skill descriptions. I don't even know if we have a place for those yet. Since this is a CSV, it doesn't remember, and you got to expand this shit every time. Researcher's office. I don't see in here. When we see it in the code or in the inspector, I will adjust it. So what the fuck were we doing here? We were scouting equipment. So we got to go through all these steps for the scouting equipment. So basic research item, we have primitive scout. Oh, we were adding in that skill is what we were doing. Let's double check that these say the right thing here. Research, rifle, scavenging, and these ones shouldn't have been affected. They are correct. Primitive scouting equipment. We want the skill now to be production. And we don't want it researched at start just yet. We want to test it. Well, we could. It didn't show up, so I want to relook at how I'm doing the research. We have it on tier 2. I don't think I have tier 2 set up, which we will do. And we need another thing that I just thought of, and this is going to be kind of a pain. Add prerequisites to research. It's going to be less of a pain, I think, than I think, but I think it's still going to be a pain. So we're going to need this somewhere in here. Convert this to an issue so that we can, I like marking off issues, you know. So we're still back to double checking this thing. So we have primitive scouting, primitive? Why does that look like it's spelled wrong to me? Why does everything look like it's spelled wrong to me? Primitive? Primitive. No, this is, okay, so I was spelling it wrong this whole time. Primitive. Primitive. Nope. Primitive with it. All eyes. Primitive. Primitive. Well, that sells. Sells? That says it's spelled. That says it's spelled right over here. The reason why I wanted to expand this was to make sure this wasn't some other, you know, like it's talking about a business or something. That's one of the things I've also noticed when I check my spelling. This is how I check my spelling all the time. And lately, it will pull up like some fucking business that's deliberately spelled wrong. So primitive. Here's another one. Just change this to an I, and then this to. Look at the Spanish version was right. I assume. Primitive. Oh. Nope. Okay. Did I use primitive anywhere else? Primitive. Okay. So, now we gotta go fix these things because they're gonna be broken. We're gonna change this to an I. And we're gonna change this to an I. There we go. And I think that was it. So now back to what we were doing. We have, no, this is spelled wrong. Primitive. All right. So we have the research item. We have the skill. And then we need the county improvements. Improvement names. We should probably add these to the thing too. I can tell that they haven't been done because of this. So how was I doing? So I have skill, I have interest. I didn't have name in here. Improvement. I don't think do we need a faction improvement? I think we'll just do improvement now. Hopefully we don't have to change it later. We're gonna put this on top of this thing again and go through these improvements. We'll do an underscore here. Copy this. We need what? 6 of them. And then we want Fisher's Shed. And then we want Garden. And then we want Lumberjack Station. We need a description too. I think originally I was putting name in here, but I think I stopped doing that and changed it all around. Yeah, so if it's just if it doesn't have the main thing is the name and then the next one. So researcher's office. It's not a laboratory. I mean, I guess we could call it like a primitive laboratory. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna put this in here. Researcher's office could be called a primitive laboratory. I think the reason why I called it an office, though, come on, man. We know that's spelled wrong. We know this is too. I was calling it an office is because it's not like a laboratory, and maybe we want laboratory later. Once again, this is back to the concept that the research is not like we're not researching from scratch. We're looking at like books and stuff, books and internet. Well, okay, no internet, books and things, and relearning knowledge that we already had. Like people already know that you can research. This just gives you a place for you to assign someone to research. Scouting equipment workshop, and then warehouse. And then we can just go Fisher's Shed, a garden, a garden's garden. No, thank you. Lumberjack Station, researcher's office, scouting equipment workshop, warehouse. And then we'll copy this. Damn it. You got to put it in here first. And I know you can paste whatever. Fuck you. There we go. What? Why are you being a jerk? There we go. Pescador, I know is fish, so I know a tiny bit. investigator, huh? Is that a researcher? All right, then we also need the improvement description. Fishers, well, we'll do this. 4, 5, 6. There we go. Then we need Fisher's shed. This is very exciting. This is, so I was talking last time about I didn't know that it didn't dawn on me that lumberjack station, that there would be so many tedious things to do when programming. I figured you'd be able to get rid of a lot of that through like loops and things, but like stuff like this, you can't do that. You got to manually do all this stuff, and it makes me appreciate that's kind of current workshop attention to detail in other games when they do stuff like this. Then we have a description over here. Fisher's shed, garden, a place to grow food. Some of these descriptions are pretty weak. You know, when you play like a game like, I'm going to say Skyrim, obviously a AAA game, the amount of just someone having to type shit in, like lore, you know, you find a lore book somewhere, somebody had to type all that shit in. The thing is, so X4, though, is an example of a game where they didn't type in a bunch of shit. I don't know if they've ever updated it. Whoops. So X4, a lot of the areas that you click on stuff, there's no descriptions for stuff, and it's like, man, I know it takes a lot of time. Oh, this is called a converted warehouse. I should probably name this what it's really called. Hopefully none of this got fucked up, but we'll see here. We need to change this, though. I just did with that thing. And change this. And I know there's a hotkey for the thing. Makeshift shed for Fisher's tools. Tools? For fishing equipment. Such as rods, fishing line, and what would be a third one? Hooks. There we go. I mean, I don't need to update this shit right now, but copy this over. And then a place to grow food. It acts like it's copied. There we go. I just need to click into it when it does that. These all start with A. I was like, why is it all un? I don't need to do this. Yeah, I should probably learn how to speak Spanish. That is probably what I should do. What is that? Duolingo? I heard there's some. It's not considered very good anymore. For a while, everyone said that was like the best thing ever. All right, so we finish this part. Then we need to go back to converted warehouse here. And we're going to I'm going to add converted to this. Converted warehouse. And it's now in the wrong order. We'll put this up here. And then we'll go to the converted warehouse. This is wrong though. To now, converted warehouse, converted. I got an R over here. I know you guys can't see it. Converted warehouse description. And then we'll go to Fisher's Shed. And we'll do, I actually feel like it was easier just to go through all the names first. So let's do that because they're all in a row over here. Garden, no. And then Lumberjack Station. This was not the plan to do this whole stream, but you know, you gotta do shit when you gotta do it. Improve researcher's office. Scouting equipment. Workshop. And then let's go back up to the top. We already did that. And we are on Fisher's Shed. Nope, I'm copying the wrong thing. Put that there. Garden. Lumberjack Station. And researcher's office. And scouting equipment workshop. All right, we have some of this stuff done. It's gonna come up wrong until I guess we can just restart. Actually, I think it might get upset if I have this open, so I'm gonna close this. Occasionally it gets in this loop where it just wants me to save it over and over again. We're gonna hope that actually saved there. $2D 4X. All right, so what were we doing here? Back to this. We were doing scouting equipment, resource, county resource. It's kind of a pain to add these in now that I'm doing another one. But let's check over here. We need scouting equipment. These are a county resource, which we have now. I don't actually think we do. We need a county resource in here. It's going to be called, is it a county resource or a faction resource? It's a county resource. It's going to be called scouting equipment. RS, scouting equipment. It's actually going to be called primitive, because there's going to be a different PQRS. I got to go through the alphabet every time. Primitive scouting equipment. Yeah, for now that will work. Then we got to build this thing, and we got to start. Oh, look, we got to do this thing for our name of our resources too. We have a lot of translating. Just ignore those. We have a lot of translating today. Let's make sure this thing appears, and it dud appear. We don't have a description yet, so let's open this up. Let's do the same thing. We gotta just do it, you know? I'm just repeating myself more than usual. I repeat myself a lot when I'm streaming because people join at any time. County improvements. But today I'm doing it unusually a ton of repeating. County improvement, and then we have the other improvement. No, this is a county resource. Okay. I was like, wait, what? County resource. I guess we should do an underscore here. How many resources do we got now? We actually got 6. You know, I can make, oh, I can't make it bigger. You can't make Excel bigger. Use the online version with the control. You know, most Microsoft products, you can hold down control and use the mouse wheel to go in and out, to zoom in and out, to go in and out. Canned food, fish, remnants. Remnants is an important one. It's weird. I guess we have to have. Yeah, remnants is a special one. Remnants are leftovers from the post-apocalyptic part. What is this thing that we're adding in here? Scouting equipment. Primitive scouting equipment. Vegetables. And wood. And then primitive scouting equipment. Oh, I did it again. It's primitive. Someday I will add the A in there, like I did on the other ones. So this is gonna be canned food. This is gonna be fish. This is gonna be remnants. All right, and then we're gonna translate this. I know here, I'll move this over. So you can see the exciting task that I'm doing here. We're gonna translate these things. Oh, except I don't have primitive in here. I'm at primitive. And then nope. There we go. And we don't have a description. Let's do this though. Here, fish is shorter. Description underscore. We're gonna do the same thing that we did for the other ones. What is that? 6? That's 5. Canned food. Fish. Remnants. I guess we're gonna have a different vegetables. I guess we're gonna have a different description for the county level and the faction level. there's a weird thing with remnants. They're, like I said, they're special. Primitive, there we go. Scouting equipment. And then we're going to have this not written. Maybe I should put like what it is that's not written so that we can see. I guess I should. You know, I'm too lazy to do that though. So what we can do instead is copy these things and paste it here. I guess we could have pasted it like this. All right. Too lazy. Move this back over here. Motherfucker. Go over there. We're going to go through the names first. Vegetables. We're going to add in whatchamaffuck, primitive scouting equipment here in a second. We're going to go back up here. We're going to get the description. Once again, this way, we can just write them in this Excel file. We're on fish, remnants. We got a problem here, though. I guess we can fix it. It's because we added in. Oh, and this is going to be a different faction type. We'll have to think about how that works. Cause so remnants, so I guess this would, scouting equipment would be like kind of like combat gear or some shit. So we'll have to add that in. Combat gear? I don't know how we're gonna do that, but it won't, it shouldn't be that difficult. I say that now, but yeah, this is gonna be off one too. Good thing I noticed. County resource type is wood. And is it perishable? Let's go back to this. Canned good food, fish food, remnants, vegetables are food, wood is a building material. Then let's go back and think about this. So what it's talking about is this type of thing. We can have it just, let's call it equipment. Joker, how's it going? Vegetables are not food? You know, I went to a barbecue once and they had barbecued Brussels sprouts, and I was like, man, I had these years ago and they were gross, and then I had them at this barbecue and they were amazing. Well, then like 10 years later, I read that they've changed, like it's not genetic engineering, it's just breeding of Brussels sprouts to make them taste better. So besides or maybe that was, are Brussels sprouts a vegetable though? Yeah, I know. I like broccoli a lot. Cauliflower, those got to be vegetables, right? You're not into that? Science experiment. Yes. I mean, most of grown food at this point has been. It's not genetic engineering, but it kind of is, I guess. I think I'm gonna just call it equipment. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Is call this equipment, and it will be a thing at the top. Oh man, that means we need to add a thing at the top for equipment. It's not going to be very reliable, though. It's not going to be a very reliable count. But we'll do it. We'll add equipment to top bar. We'll do this to what? Get over here. Like corn. Corn needs to look totally different. I mean, everything did. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I always think it's it. We've actually talked about this before. I don't know if me and you, Joker, but me and Chad have talked about this before. Where in so many video games, um, bananas had bones. Did they have like something inside of them? I didn't. I didn't know that. Is that true? Should we look it up? I have a friend who looks up every single thing I say. He's like, "Are you sure about that?" Primitive bananas. Oh yeah, they had that nastiness. Anyways, so back in the day, there's so many video games where there's like a settlement, but there's no way to get food. And then in Ghost of Tsushima, I'm always shocked that there's these like kind of large settlements that are like all rice farms or like fishing villages. It's good. It's a good thing when there's actually enough food for the population. I mean, I don't know if it's enough. All right. So we have equipment in here. Primitive scouting equipment. We can go back to here. Let's double check everything again. Canned goods are food. Fish are fish. And they're perishable. Remnants are remnants. Vegetables are food. Unless you're Joker, then they're trash. And wood is a building material. It really is perishable, but we're not doing it that way. Create new resource, county resource. And we're going to call this primitive scouting equipment. And then, oh, did we put this stuff here? We did. So then we can add in our translation thing. And we can add in this over here. All right. And then this is going to be primitive scouting equipment. And this is going to be equipment, except we didn't build it yet. There we go. I got to change my music. I don't know what this is, but I don't like it. And I know you guys can't hear it. All right. Lower my back to... You know, I've been waking up and my knee has been hurting, and I can't figure out like how that has been going on. Like what is the... Like, how am I hurting myself in my sleep? Yeah, I need it. So the big problem is I have a sedentary lifestyle where I just sit on my fucking ass, and I really, really, really need to not sit on my ass. So I guess we need to add a faction resource too. That is going to be called equipment. And so adding one thing in really is a lot of work, especially because I didn't have these things set up for translation. So we're going to go back through this and we're going to add in faction resource. How many of these do we need? We need 6. We need 6. There we go. And then we'll just go through this building materials, equipment. And just walk to the living room or kitchen. I think you need to walk farther than that, and that's the problem. That's the same thing I do. I go outside and have a smoke, and I'm like, man, I walked like from my room to my backyard. That counts, right? And I think you gotta walk like, like a mile. If you had stairs, stairs are really good for you too. If your house is filled with stairs, like just every room was connected with stairs, you would be in probably good shape. Like especially if the stairs are like 4 stories high, so you had to like go up. If you had like a Dr. Seuss house, it's all like warp, uh, it'd be really good for you. Do I have descriptions written for this? Well, that one I don't. I do not. So we're gonna do this same thing. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna go like this. This file's gonna get fucking huge. One more. You know what I could have done probably is just copied this and pasted it down here and then just add a description. But building materials, equipment. I wish English was consistent with like, building materials, equipments, foods, influences, monies, remnants. And then we can go like this. Yeah, it's not at all. It's because it's a mishmash of languages. Whoops. No, no, no. There's a space at the end of this. Look, for a second it was there, but then it went away. Influence. A mishmash of languages. And then we'll do this here. And then we'll translate these guys. All right. And then we have one more step. And I think we're almost, I was going to like not do the faction ones, but I guess we have to. Faction resource. We're going to do all the names first. We'll double check to make sure that their resource type is set correctly as well. One day, we're going to get some UI stuff in here too. We have to like change a bunch of shit in the hero panel. The hero description panel is going to have new things. And I also need to like do a tutorial on drag and drop, though I don't think I'm going to use drag and drop after all. I kind of want to, and I kind of just to learn that ability, but I don't actually think I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do this. I did not double check this as I was going on. We have research in there, but it's not research, but we don't use it. All right. Then we need to put in these descriptions. Nope. And let me read this. There was an interview with one of the children makers and said it was his favorite because he can draw them. Oh my God. I think that there's been translation issues since the beginning of multiple languages that learned it that turned to catastrophes. What's the jelly donut thing? There's a jelly donut thing. Um, I'll look it up in a second. Yeah, and I think there's God, there's a Japanese thing too where it's not even a translation issue. It's just that two characters are very similar. I can't remember. But yeah, that sounds like you need like an actual translator. I was talking earlier about I was trying to translate something and Google Translate wasn't. I was trying to translate a YouTube comment. It was not giving me it was giving me back gibberish. Uh the jelly donut thing. JFK jelly donuts. See, it ain't even knows what I'm talking about. Ich bin in Berliner. There's a widespread misconception. um, I want to see if consequences. I am a donut. I am a donut. It's not jelly donut. There's a widespread false belief that Kennedy made a mistake by saying Ich bin in Berliner. Changing the meaning of the sentence from I'm a citizen of Berlin to I'm a Berliner, which is a type of German pastry. All right, but it's a misconception. Yeah, back perfect. Yeah, the Germans have all sorts of crazy words like that where they just keep adding to the word. Here's one. They just I don't even want to know what like current technology is like how they describe. That's what a back Furfenglistic is. All right, we got this part done. We got the food. We got the. Oh, let's double check because this one's wrong. Let's double check. I'm on. No, I am on Remnant, even though this one's highlighted. Building material, building material, equipment, food, influence, money, Remnant. Let's double check this. Canned food, fish, primitive, remnants, vegetables, food. When did this just happen? Didn't I just do this? Oh, it was after I built it. Wind, how's it going? Cheese is definitely going to have to be in the thing because making cheese. Oh, motherfucker! I thought I fixed this too. Cheese. No, I probably just typed that one. That was a new one. Cheese is definitely gonna have to be in there because cheese is not easy to make, but do you guys remember there's this ancient strategy game where like you could get cows? It was like one of the major ways to get food was to get cows and make cheese. It was like, it almost came to me the name of it. New stuff on Discord? What's going on here? My Discord is advertising. Oh my God, there's another one of these. Do you care if I show this on stream? I gotta go back to chat and wait. All right, so this is all. Let's build this again because I think what happens is when I am changing things and it's not built, it goes back to the old one. Wish I could make this higher quality. I think it's Discord. Oh, there we go. I know, I do love hexes, man. Hexes are the best. I was playing Shadow Empire, it's got hexes. And actually, I was playing Shadow Empire when I saw your other post about this, and I was like, oh, we got like Shadow Empire, Civ. Um, is your console on like the left of your screen is this like over here? Is that what's going on? They are. Yeah, this is awesome. Is that sword new? I don't think I saw that sword before. Yeah, this is awesome. Movement points, intern, warrior. Movement points -1. I was playing that game the other night. That was actually pretty good. Gobs and Gods. You can go into like negative AP, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like it took it off from the next turn, but it was strange. All right, we did this. Now I think there's like 12 more things we got to do here. We got to go back to main. We got to add in a new skill to here. We got to add in a new research. We got to add in a new county resource. We got to add in a new faction resource. Hopefully, so this is the thing. We'll be adding county resources like mad, but faction resources, I don't think we'll still be adding some as we go, but we won't be adding them to the level that every time I add a new research, we got to do a new thing. So let's go back through these now and fix them. Perks, research. So we need to put in our new research here. And I think this research, this is not research. I think this research probably should break something. I'm kind of like half hoping. Oh, so yours go into the negative. And then in the next turn, did they just have a reduced? Is that a common game thing and I just didn't know? Or I just haven't noticed it before? Let's see. So then we're on county resources. So that was research items. County resources. We need to add in primitive scouting. These are alphabetical. I think I should probably keep these as alphabetical. It probably doesn't matter that much because I can always sort this later. Man, I did play the original Civ, and I remember it being like a game changer, you know? Like, just like one of the best games I'd ever played. I'm not that much into Civ anymore, though. I feel like I've burned myself out on Civ. This is alphabetical, so we're fine there. Faction, county resource. We need to go to our faction resource now. And it's going to be equipment. We'll add it in here. I do like that you can just drag this shit around. And then skills. We got to go to our skills. And it's going to be production. Except we got to be able to pull it over here. I was thinking you were gonna do the Gandhi thing, you know. All right, so I think we've added in everything new. We got a problem though. We don't have this. We don't have the production skill shown. Let's add this to our list too, because we have like a massive list of shit, and I don't want to forget any of these items because this is kind of like a big change to the game. Each research item is, but this one in particular, I already forgot what I was saying I want to do. Oh yeah, population description panel needs new skill. Was there anything else we added? No. You're very into the Egypt in the strategy games. They're hard to play a lot of times. In the Egypt. Not sure why I said the Egypt. Victoria 3, they're really hard to play. You know, a lot of times I don't play as them because they start, you know, like in earlier history, they start out as this massive kingdom or faction, and it's like, seems like it would be too easy because they got it like over in that area. They have like some massive, massive kingdoms historically. All right, so we've added all this stuff. Let's run it and see what happens, and then I'm going to take a quick break. It says we have 14 errors. Probably one of them's or two of them's this thing. I should probably close this. Not getting bugs yet. Oh, it's doing our exciting loop there. Yeah, so we didn't get it added here. I don't think I have that set up. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to open that. While it's opening, that's going to be the research. There's actually a couple of places where this could be going wrong. This is going to be the research control. Generate assigned researchers. Oh no, this is, what is this thing called? Thought it was called the research control. Oh, it is. Oh, see, so I was wondering if this is what I was doing. I manually have these things in here. And I remember when I did this, I was like, why did I do this? Like, I remember when I did it, there was a reason why I did it. And then I came back and we added one research item. And I was like, why did I do this? So the thing is that research will never, like, in the middle of the game, it's never going to be adding new research to this big panel. You know what I mean? Like the research items are always going to be there. So I think that's kind of why I was doing this, so it wouldn't instantiate a bunch of shit. But it's still going to instantiate it. Now I think about it, every time it instantiates. So I can't remember why I did this in this particular. Actually, it's not going to instantiate. It just fills in these things. Maybe that was because this is going to be large, but. And the next thing we're going to put in should be right here. But I'm going to go take a break, and then I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. Gotta turn off my music that you guys can't hear and turn on my break timer. All right, I'll be right back. Right. I am back. It's weird how certain times my breaks feel really fast and sometimes they feel really short. That was a felt really fast time, but it was not. All right, yeah, so I was manually adding these in here. I also think some of it had to do with drawing some lines later. I think that is what it was. Because I wanted these to be like in a certain order, not necessarily alphabetical. So we would put, and then we'd draw a line between them because of the prerequisite. So we actually need to do that too. Let's open up our research item data. We need to add in prerequisites. This is going to be an array. An array. It's going to be kind of a pain in my ass. Maybe we'll start it off as a Godot array. Zenip. Thank you for the support. Yeah, I just gotta keep going at it. Thank you very much. I think I will too. It might be 100 years, but yeah, you can download the current version. It's not, playable. I mean, you could click around. If you see any bugs, tell me. But I actually tested again because last weekend I exported it, compiled it, and it was doing this weird lag thing. And I actually tested it again. It wasn't doing the lag thing. So hopefully that's not a real thing. But yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Especially today, because today has been like the worst streaming day. I don't know what the hell is going on technologically, that is. All right, so this is going to be prerequisites. Requisites. I feel like that's wrong too. But you know what I want to do is I want to make this a whatchamacallit, a Godot array. I want to try this again with the Godot. Oh, I guess I did spell it right. Godot collections array. I want this one though. And then I want this, I think. I don't think I want that. I want to try it again. Let's put research. Prerequisites. Thank you. I hope so too. I keep adding new ideas and things, but and for a long time I've been kind of like joking that the feature creep is going to be the death of me. But like some of the ideas in chat gives me ideas all the time too. Are really good. I saw some idea. I already forgot what it was. Some idea earlier on my list, and I was like, that is a really good idea. And I think that was one chat gave me. And so having it kind of insane feature wise, kind of a good thing. I saw this other game called Clockwork something. It's on my desktop. Clockwork Dawn. This game right here. It's a guy's making like a Victoria 2-esque game, but it's I don't know what happened there. But it's like a steampunk type of thing. Like like you're getting into the steampunk part, and he's using Unity, but he has like a similar he's has like the basic foundations of a game, and it's pretty empty, but you can see that this is like what he's going to be building on, and it's kind of nice to see another person kind of doing something similar, uh, and also like having like the basics are there. He's way farther along than I am, and it's on Steam and you can buy it and stuff. Way farther along than I am, but it's nice to see someone else like also doing something similar, if that makes sense. Um, let's see here. Oh, we can turn this off. We could better turn this off. But so I was looking at his Discord. The reason now I'm back to what I was bringing up about that. He also has like features that he keeps like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to do this, and it's kind of, you know, maybe it's okay to have like feature creep as long as it doesn't get it too out of control, because some of the features are just going to need to be done. So I think for this, we're going to try this thing here. We're going to go back to our research items. And this is going to be null for all of these except for this. This one, we're going to have basic production. I can't put this in here because I need to add an element. Basic production is going to be prerequisites. Do I have this on my list? Did I just add this to my list? Add research prerequisites to research. And I think this is going to be kind of a pain to get to work how I want it to. But basically, you can't research it until the other thing's done, obviously. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this primitive scouting equipment next, was because I knew it had a prerequisite. I didn't want it to be, so I want it to be like a tier 2, and it's going to affect heroes, and it's going to affect all sorts of shit. All right, what do we got? We got our basic production in here. So this is the problem, though, that I'm thinking about. This basic production is going to be different than the basic production that we're researching over here. I mean, it's not actually that one. It's going to be a different one. I mean, at the beginning, they're going to be the same. But I think we need to somehow assign this basic production in here. This skill is also construction for this. Is that what we want? Engineering. Engineering, definitely. Like everything is engineering. Production. I have the skill as construction for this research item. I think this should actually be production. Kind of have we have only 4 things and only using 2 things. Three things. All right, where are we going from here? So I think this is going to be a problem, though. Then let's go back to this, because we are manually adding this shit in. So let's add in, how does this thing even build? I think it's a... Stinko, how's it going? I think it's going to be, yeah, so I actually have, all right, so that's what I did, is I have this, these are just put in here, and there's a reason why, but I can't remember why I did it this way. But let's put in another, we're going to keep doing it this way, because there's a reason, and I've learned from my day job that if I have like a list in a certain order, or if there's usually a reason why I do it why I did that. This is going to be a UI scene here, and it's going to be called something. I think it's this one. Yeah. Do you guys? How many people have Labor Day off? Hey, look at this one. It's just called research item. Well, it means we know we're on the right. We got the right thing in here, but it is not what we want. This should be called. I think the reason I did it this way is so that I could reorganize them, but that's not going to actually do anything. Wonder why I'm not just instantiating them. Look at this one is over here in the center. I mean, that does look better than it being at the top. There was a reason, I swear. Basic. No, this was just called like a research office. Researchers office. And look at this one doesn't have a research item. And then this one is going to be primitive scouting workshop. And then we got to look at the code of how I'm pulling this shit. What does this thing have on it? All right, let's look back at this research control. I already know I have this open somewhere. So what does this thing do? Apply player research to UI. So it does this on ready for some reason. On visibility changed. It adjusts the controls, it pauses time, it invokes this thing. For some reason I have an event in here. Let's jump to it. That's not going to do us any good. Research visible, invoke, generate assigned researchers, check for researchers. So this on the button. Okay, so on the button it checks for this. Oh, was I dragging and dropping this shit in here? I bet you that's what I was doing. I was. That's what I was doing. I wonder why I did it this way. I know there was a reason. I know there was. Nope, not that one. Let's close this and run it, but I think maybe it was the drawing of the lines. Maybe I can't remember. Yeah, so there it is now. Oh, we got the right image too. Maybe you know what? I'm not gonna try to figure out why I did it this way. It will either pop into my brain and it will work, or it won't. It won't. I mean, it will come to. There's supposed to be a county improvement here though, which I must have not added in. We need to add an element, and we need to add in the new county improvements. And we're going to ignore that, whatever that is. And obviously it's not supposed to look like that. I think that Maybe it's because of the name so long. I wonder because I did change a few things. Yeah, so like this, I added some more stuff, and it broke it. I added more text. So I was just thinking maybe we should just shorten the text, but it would be better to have the ability. This thing's always been broken where it's a little bit bigger. But maybe that's part of the problem that it never dawned on me that this is just too big and it's pushing this down a little bit. That's probably what it is. You know, we could change that. We could do a test by going, what does this thing say? How about we start stuff? What if we go like this? We go over to here. Or you know what we can do to make it even easier instead of having to fuck with that thing? If we go to converted warehouse and we cut this and we put in test, it will make it much smaller. And then we'll see if that fixes that issue. That could have been that, because I fucked around with that one day for a while. Yeah, that was the issue this whole time. Oh, okay. We'll put this back. And then what we'll do is we'll open up. We are going to be messing with this. We got to add in that new skill. So we'll leave that one open. We're going to be messing with this eventually too, but not right now. This is what we need to fix then. And what we need to fix, I suppose, is I really wish there was a way to, without coding it, to tell the text to squish, like only to fit. I mean, it'd be tiny right now. When we go to this, whatever. So we have influence, cost, amount, and builders. Influence cost. Oh, and the under construction label appears too. It won't appear on this one though, so that's probably fine. And the other one's much wider. So the other place that this shows up, I use the same thing for both of these. The other place this shows up is here, but this is much wider. We could make it wider. I mean, I'm not like, oh, wrong place. I'm not like 100%. Where was the three of them? I mean, I just made it that size for whatever reason. Can we click on these things? No, these are not clickable. So this is all the information that we're going to get. And we're going to need, so people are going to need to have this description information because it's going to help influence their choice on what they're going to research. Like if it just said lumberjack shack or lumberjack station, and then the cost and stuff, people might be like, oh, I don't know what a lumberjack station is. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing a video game and sometimes you like run into something, it's called a garden, and then you look and it's like, oh, this garden is for peaceful relaxation, not a garden that grows food. So, you know, we're gonna have the description in there because they can mean wildly different things. So what that also means is that we need to fix this in a different way. So I can make it wider. Oh, I know what it does. In that particular thing, the issue, it's the minimum size, though. We could do like 500. That didn't change anything. What? Because we need... Oh, maybe not. The HBox container is set at 600. I thought it was supposed to expand. The button doesn't matter right now. I'm trying to reduce or keep the number of clicks down to a minimum too. There was another game that I was playing recently and it took like 45 clicks to do anything. And it reinforced my effort or my thought process of keeping everything to a minimum. You know, we can make it taller too, I suppose. Well, let's see what this does. And I think all of the changes should be inherited. That didn't do any. No? I think it did do something. This one's not fucked up anymore. This one still is, but it's less fucked up. Oh, now it's turning to gibberish, though. It's turning to garbage because that other thing must be. Yeah, it's weird that that one's 600 and this one's. No. No. That this one isn't the right. Oh, okay. I see what I did here. I have a minimum size here, and this would have to be 650. But then why is this now off? Man, I hate fucking with these things. This thing doesn't have any size. Position. This thing's position is manually typed in. Why? Why did I do that? And I only have a width, but it's set to like expand proportionally, yeah. This is under this thing. It seems like. What is this set as? Is this thing going to change its position now? I think that might help solve the problem. I think the other issue is the text gets too close to the side. I mean, it's not like an issue. It looks ugly. So that fixed that part, but this is still because I added a bunch more text to it. So the other thing, like I said, is we can make it taller. I don't think that's a problem. We gotta do something here though. We gotta go basic production, research to start so we can look at it in the right spot. So if we go to here and say like 250, then go to here. I don't think that did anything. I think it's getting squished back down because this should be gray at the top then. Oh, this is back to being all strange. I guess it never was not strange. Whoops. Player UI. Research control. This is not the research control. No, it is the research control. Scroll bar, tier 2, tier 1. No, this is the research description panel. Margin container, research panel, VBox container, research name, county improvement parents. And this is checking the size. Yeah, this is like slightly different than this one. Well, more than slightly different. So the button's getting thrown off too. I remember this kind of being a pain to mess with. Maybe I should like rebuild it so it's less of a pain to be messed with. Though it seems to be pretty similar to how I wanted it. This is not what we want though. Let's try this. We want that H box to fill the whole thing. Wrong area here. So that one's too big. What was the other one that was storage? This to me looks like it's a different size than these. Oh, maybe it just looks that way. Guess I just took a screenshot of it. Looks pretty similar. Once again, it's just there's too much text. So let's make that text a little smaller too. That's the other thing we can do, is make this text smaller, which probably is not the best idea because we're going to be staring, like not be able to see it, but there will be a beautification process, I hope. Font size. We want you to be what, like 10 or something? Oh God, no. 12? Then let's see what happens here. We should probably translate this stuff too. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. It's getting translated at the other part. I'm so used to clicking the other things. That worked. It's kind of small. I mean, this is going to work until I write a longer description. The other solution for this is make this button work, and then when you click on it, it expands. Man, I just noticed something I don't like. Oh, this isn't working. Basic research storage. So we got to find that code and fix this. But I just noticed I don't really like this being aligned over here. I'm not going to worry about it though. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so we need to fix this thing. That's being pulled from code in the research control. So these changes that we started on today are kind of like I've said this like 7 times today. Very massive. So they're not going to be like, they're going to be a lot of, oh, we need to add this. Oh, we need to add this. Oh, we need to add this. So I'm not like, I was getting so close to pushing to main the past couple of months that I've been like, oh, I gotta finish this one part, but this is gonna be like very slow, steady. Wind. I think I might. I wanted to test out something. Oh, I don't think it will work with this though. I wanted to try out your on tree enter or whatever, but I don't think this is a good spot for that test. And see if that like possibly solved some of these call deferreds and whatnot. But what was I just thinking about? What was I just doing? We gotta fix that thing. So that's in the research control, and we are doing something. Yeah, so this is the problem. Is when you pull this directly, it doesn't translate it. You gotta like translate it ahead of time, and I don't think you can put TR. I think it's like this. Maybe you can. I can't remember how this works. I have it somewhere. Oh, come on. Maybe it's not TR? No, it is TR. Well, that's gonna... Hey, did you see that? The focus was on there. Here we go. Oh, there's no period. Let's see if this works. Sometimes you don't have to do that unless it's like a variable that's pulling through. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that that's got to be smaller, but beautification. What I should do, well, I'm going to have to get an artist first. So that's a long ways off. I need to assign somebody. I can't assign someone there because it's already done. I was like, what's happening? Okay, that worked. You know what we should test too, just for a minute here? We should go to... I mean, it's pulling the right stuff. But let's do the Spanish version for now, and make sure that that looks right as well. I mean, the text is probably wrong, but let's make sure that that is right as well. Yeah, I think the weird sound thing I was having earlier was just my ears didn't like what I was hearing. Yeah, that looks awesome. And this still works. Oh shit. There's three things. There are things that we need to fix. And I'm gonna add that to the list. Just right here. In the research description panel, 3 labels need to be translated. Convert. And we're going to put this right here. And, all right, so this is strange as fuck, but, oh yeah, we got to do this one too. Oh, look at this is smaller because this is so long. Not the end of the world. I'm not going to worry about it right now. And if we click on this, does this work? Is this pulling in the right information? 50? Yeah, it is because I dragged and dropped the shit over there. I still don't know why I'm doing it that way. But like I said, I'm not going to change it yet. I think that the way I do everything else is I would instantiate all of those buttons. But like I said, it's not really necessary that they be instantiated because they're not going to change. And we could hide them if we needed to. I think the next major thing we need to do is... Let's actually look at our list and reorganize this list, because I might call it a day a little bit early. This is not... I'm not going to mark this done. I am worried that we will not have the correct prerequisites resource, but a copy of it. So the problem I think we're going to run into, we're going to need to somehow assign it during faction generation or whatever, that this prerequisite is actually this. So this is going to have to actually be assigned. Because if we have a different, we need to be able to check to make sure this is done. That's the whole point of this is the prerequisite, which is this one, has to be done, and this will be disabled until this one is done. And there's another way we could assign this too. We could assign it by, man, we'd have to manually do that though, like in the code. As of the child, man, that would be a pain. It'd be much easier if we could just drag and drop it over there, but I think we're going to need to have this over here. But let's go through our list here of what we got, because I mean, I added a bunch of shit. Add prerequisites to research. That's population description panel needs a new skill. You know, I think we can just do that right now. I only have 20 minutes left. You know, I only give myself 3 hours. Give myself maximum. That's all I want to stream a day. Or each weekend. Each week, whatever. Population description panel and the list needs a third. Another. So we have these ones. And this is also going to be another problem, where we're starting to kind of run out of things that fit up here. We could do 2 lines. The problem with 2 lines is how we're going to, you know, if there's loyalty and then something else below it, we would have to put like these things in here instead of just a number. Kurt, what is going on here? What just happened? Was this open when I ran it? Yeah, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Maybe I will just call it a day. I'm feeling unusually, so I went to bed at like 1:30 in the morning or something. I expected to sleep in. I was all excited about sleeping in, and it didn't happen. Okay, what did I break here? Skill number. Skills. Production. Population label. The problem we're having here is that we don't have a label in here for this skill, and this is generated. So that's actually what we were just about to work on here. Is this under? This is under our yeah, population row. So that's under this thing. So it's looking for a it ran out of labels basically because we need a new label that's called production. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna call it a day for this, but I'm gonna put this on the top because that's gonna be, you know, when we start to work on this tomorrow, this is gonna be, that bug's gonna be there, and I don't think it will actually be that hard to fix. It will just be that we're not gonna have enough room. You know, unhelpful was just for temporary. Maybe we'll get rid of unhelpful. These are all of their skills. We had to make their names larger that area was larger activity, we needed it big like that. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of. It's not gonna really be a pain so much as we're just gonna have to adjust things. It looks like we have room between, like, rifle can be squished down some more. I think we manually fix the width of these things so that, because there was some issue where it was getting like off centered when it was going down. I think totally that's what we did. So some of these I think we can squish down a little bit. I think like lumberjack, we might be able to reduce that. I was been playing Shadow Empire, and there's like certain screens in that where it's like, why did he do this with these crazy abbreviations and stuff? And it's because probably the same exact reason. The other thing I've always wondered in that game is when there's certain things like bureaucrat points, which are camel case, and I've always wondered why he did that. And it just dawned on me this morning that he probably uh, has an enum somewhere, and he's just printing the name of the enum instead of like having a skill thing. He's just, and his enum is in camel case or something similar to that. And so just to make it easier, he just did that. It's weird, but I mean, it works. It's a little strange when you first see it and you're like, why is this in camel case? But anyways, I am going to push this code not to main. We're going to do a new branch. And we're going to call this branch scouting equipment, because that's basically what we're doing. Is once we have the scouting equipment added to the heroes, to the county improvements, so that you can build it, etc., we will be done with this section. This is going to take a long time because we're adding in so much different shit. What did we do today? We added primitive scouting equipment, sort of. We got part of it. The way that, no, wait, that's not even close to what we did. I should have made that more verbose. But all right, I'm done for today. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good, hopefully 3-day weekend for almost everyone. For everyone, not almost everyone. I hope everyone has a 3-day weekend. All right.